Welcome to It's English Podcast. I'm Brian, and I'm so happy to have you here. Let's learn English the easy and fun way together.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the It's English Podcast, your warm and friendly corner to learn easy English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Mary, and today we're exploring something very tiny but surprisingly powerful.
And also a little nerve-wracking.
Yes, short conversations, big anxiety. Totally unfair.
Completely unfair.
Because today, we are diving into small talk.
Ah, yes, those little chats you have with a neighbor, a workmate, someone in an elevator, someone at a shop, or that one person standing right beside you in complete silence.
The risky silence.
Yes, the silence where your brain suddenly forgets every English word you have ever studied.
Exactly. You know English, you genuinely do, but in that moment, your mind just goes, sorry, not available right now.
Yes, not available right now is very, very real.
And the ironic thing is, small talk looks so effortless when other people do it.
It really does. You watch two people casually chatting about the sunshine, a pet, a coffee, the traffic, and it all looks so smooth.
But when your moment arrives, suddenly saying, nice weather today, feels like presenting to an audience.
Yes. And I believe that is exactly why this topic matters so deeply, because small talk is not actually small.
No, it is often the doorway to connection.
It can make a space feel friendlier. It can help you feel more self-assured.
And honestly, it can make everyday life feel much smoother.
Also, let's be honest, it can rescue you from standing in a lift like a decorative plant.
Yes, a very polite decorative plant.
Very polite.
Can I ask you something, Brian? Do you think people are more afraid of making grammar errors or of feeling awkward?
Awkward, without question.
Same here, because grammar errors are one thing, but an awkward silence, that lingers in your memory for days.
That is absolutely true.
But that is precisely why we wanted to dedicate this episode to, because it is a skill.
Yes, it is not some natural gift.
You do not need a magnetic personality.
You do not need a flawless accent.
And you certainly do not need flawless English. You just need a few straightforward ways to begin, a few ways to keep the conversation flowing, and a calmer mindset about the whole thing.
That is such an important point. A calmer mindset.
Because once your mind settles down, your words usually arrive much more naturally.
Usually, not always. We're still human.
Very important reminder. So in this episode, we're going to cover why small talk feels so uncomfortable, how to start it, how to keep it going, what to do when things get awkward, and how to wrap up a conversation politely.
And we'll keep everything simple, natural, and very down to earth.
And before we go further, please subscribe, like, and share this episode with someone who might need it too.
This is a B1 level episode, so relax. You don't need to catch every single word. Just listen, enjoy the exchange, and let your English develop naturally.
And later in the episode, we'll have our word tour, where we revisit some powerful vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs from today's conversation in a simple, clear way.
So stay with us for that.
And before we begin, one quick question for everyone listening.
When was the last time you wanted to say something straightforward, but your mind just handed you nothing?
Yes, that moment. If you know that feeling, this episode was made for you.
So perhaps the first real question is, why does something so tiny create so much pressure?
Yes, because the strange thing is, small talk is usually simple, but the feeling around it is not.
I think part of the problem is that it happens in real time. There's no pause, no preparation. It's just you, another person, and that fleeting moment.
Exactly. And when something seems simple, people assume they should be naturally good at it.
Yes, and when they feel clumsy, they judge themselves very harshly.
So now it's not just a conversation. It becomes pressure, self-doubt, and silence all wrapped together.
And silence can feel far bigger than it actually is.
especially in English, because then you're not only thinking, what should I say? You're also thinking, can I say it properly? Will I sound odd? What if my mind goes blank?
Yes, and once all those thoughts rush in at once, the moment starts feeling much heavier than it ought to.
Which is exactly why I think many people struggle with small talk for the wrong reason.
What do you mean?
I mean, they tell themselves, I'm just bad at conversation.
Ah,
When in reality, very often the issue is simply tension, too much tension for a very small moment.
yes, that feels completely true, because if you release a little of that pressure, the words usually arrive far more easily.
And that's where this idea becomes so valuable, being at ease.
Yes, at ease means relaxed and comfortable, not fighting the moment, not trying to impress anyone, just being present.
I really love that, because small talk gets so much easier the moment you stop treating it like an exam.
Yes, nobody's standing there with a clipboard scoring you for saying lovely morning.
Thank goodness.
And honestly, the goal is not to sound brilliant.
No, the goal is to make the moment feel easier.
For yourself and for the other person too.
Exactly. Sometimes the finest small talk is simply whatever puts someone at ease.
Yes, if you put someone at ease, you help them feel less tense, less uncomfortable, more settled.
And that's such a wonderful quality to have.
It really is, because people remember that feeling. They remember the person who made the moment feel lighter.
Not louder, not smarter, just lighter.
That's lovely.
Write that one down. That was one of your good lines.
One of them? That stings.
I said one of them. Be grateful.
Fair point. But really, I think that's the heart of it all. Small talk feels uncomfortable when we blow it up in our heads.
Yes, when in reality, it often starts with something very small. A smile, a remark, one simple sentence.
And once you see that more clearly, the next question becomes easier.
Right, because then you can ask, okay, so how do we actually get started?
I think the simplest answer is start with what's already in front of you.
The weather, the location, the situation, the long queue, the hot afternoon, the dog with better hair than anyone in the room.
Yes, that dog always exists.
And I like this approach because it takes the pressure away. You don't need to invent a clever opening. You just notice something simple.
And the way you say it matters too. People respond more openly when you seem approachable.
Yes, approachable means easy to talk to, warm, open, not closed off.
It can be your smile, your tone, your eye contact, even your very first sentence can feel approachable.
Absolutely. And once the moment feels relaxed enough, you can strike up a conversation.
Yes, if you strike up a conversation, you begin talking in a friendly, natural way, nothing grand or complicated.
Please do not walk up to someone at the bakery and say, I believe the universe guided us both to this sourdough.
Please do not.
Memorable, but not helpful.
So a simple opener is enough. It's really warm today. This queue is taking forever. That dessert looks incredible. Your cat is beautiful.
Yes, and the magic isn't in being perfect. The magic is in sounding human.
I love that, because people aren't waiting for perfection. They're waiting for warmth.
Or at least normality.
Honestly, yes. Small talk works best when it feels ordinary. So if someone listening is thinking, but my English is so basic, that's okay.
Simple is often better.
Much better.
Because the point isn't to impress, it's to connect.
All right, so let's say the conversation has started.
Right, nobody walked away. Great sign.
Excellent sign.
Then the next question is, how do you keep it alive without making it feel strange?
And I think the answer is be curious and listen carefully.
Yes, because good small talk is not only about starting, it's about responding.
Exactly. If the other person offers you something small, use it.
Like if they say, oh, I visited a bookstore this weekend.
Then you can say, oh really? What kind of books do you enjoy?
That makes the conversation more engaging.
Yes, engaging means interesting and enjoyable. Someone engaging makes the conversation feel alive.
And that usually happens when you do one very simple thing. You follow up on what the other person said.
Exactly. If you follow up on something, you ask more about it. You don't let it drop.
So instead of jumping to a completely different topic, you stay with what they gave you.
Like catching a ball and tossing it back.
Yes, that's a lovely way to put it. And thankfully, this kind of catch requires no actual athletic ability.
Which makes it ideal for both of us.
But really, that is why some conversations feel effortless. Not because one person is remarkable, but because both people are playing this little game well, listening, then giving something back.
And the follow-up does not have to be long. Just one more question, one more small step.
What did you think? How was it? Do you go there often? Was it enjoyable?
Small questions, big difference.
Yes, and when you do that well, people feel heard.
Which is one of the finest feelings in conversation.
It really is, because once someone feels heard, the whole exchange becomes easier.
And I think that takes us to a really useful part of small talk, the kind of questions we ask.
Yes, because sometimes a conversation does not end because people are rude.
It ends because the question was too closed.
Exactly. A question can seem perfectly fine, but still leave the other person nowhere to go.
Yes, cute little conversation stoppers.
Exactly. For example, did you have a nice weekend?
And the other person says yes, and then both people are just standing there holding the broken conversation.
Yes, it collapses immediately.
That is why open questions work better. Questions beginning with what, how, why, or which give people more room to respond.
And to ask those well, it helps to be observant.
Yes, observant means skilled at noticing things, feelings, details, little clues. Like if someone mentions they found a new cafe, an observant person doesn't just nod, they hear a reason to ask, "Oh, what was it like?"
Exactly. And the other important quality is being genuine.
Yes, genuine means real and sincere, not fake, not asking just because you think you have to.
People can always tell the difference.
They really can. A genuine question feels warm. A forced one feels like homework.
Hello, fellow human. Please supply additional information so I may continue this exercise.
Dreadful energy.
Very dreadful.
So the real secret is not only to ask open questions.
It's to ask open questions with genuine curiosity, because that's what makes the conversation breathe.
And once you stop trying to control every beat of the conversation, something else becomes easier too.
Handling the awkward moments.
Ah, yes, real life.
Real life indeed, because sometimes small talk is lovely, and sometimes it gets strange for no obvious reason.
Yes, like when you smile and say, "That sounds thrilling," and the other person replies, "It really isn't."
Yes, and suddenly you don't know whether to laugh, apologize, or quietly disappear.
Exactly, and your brain starts searching for the emergency exit.
Which is why the most important thing here is do not panic.
Right, a strange moment is not the end of everything.
Sometimes people just need a bit of time to warm up to each other.
Yes, if you warm up to someone, you slowly grow more comfortable with them.
So maybe the first minute feels tense, but the third minute feels much easier. Or maybe the person is just a little unusual.
Also possible.
Very possible.
But that's why you stay relaxed, smile, breathe, answer simply, keep moving. You don't need to rescue every awkward moment.
No, some moments are allowed to be a little awkward.
That is such a freeing truth. It really is. Because once people stop fearing awkwardness so intensely, they become braver.
And bravery matters far more than smoothness.
Much more.
A slightly awkward human is still far better than a perfect robot.
Always.
And actually, that brings us to another moment that makes a lot of English learners nervous.
Yes, the moment when someone uses a word you don't recognize.
Exactly. And this part matters so much because this is where many people panic.
They really do. One unfamiliar word appears.
And suddenly, it feels like half the conversation vanishes.
Yes, because now your brain is trying to do two things at once.
Stay in the conversation.
And figure out what that word meant.
And that's where you have a choice. Pretend or ask.
Ask. Always ask.
Because asking is not weakness, it's communication. And honestly, most people are genuinely happy to explain.
You can say, "Sorry, what does that mean?" Or, "Sorry, what do you mean by that word?"
And doing that actually makes you sound more articulate, not less.
Yes, articulate means able to express yourself clearly and well. An articulate speaker is not someone who knows every word,
No, it's someone who knows how to keep the conversation clear.
which is far better than standing there like a polite scarecrow.
Yes, no scarecrow energy.
So the real secret is not only to ask open questions,
It's to ask open questions with genuine curiosity, because that's what makes the conversation breathe.
and once you stop trying to control every beat of the conversation, something else becomes easier too.
Handling the awkward moments.
Ah, yes, real life.
Real life indeed, because sometimes small talk is lovely, and sometimes it gets strange for no obvious reason.
Yes, like when you smile and say, "That sounds thrilling," and the other person replies, "It really isn't."
Yes, and suddenly you don't know whether to laugh, apologize, or quietly disappear.
Exactly, and your brain starts searching for the emergency exit.
Which is why the most important thing here is do not panic.
Right, a strange moment is not the end of everything.
Sometimes people just need a bit of time to warm up to each other.
Yes, if you warm up to someone, you slowly grow more comfortable with them.
So maybe the first minute feels tense, but the third minute feels much easier. Or maybe the person is just a little unusual.
Also possible.
Very possible.
But that's why you stay relaxed, smile, breathe, answer simply, keep moving. You don't need to rescue every awkward moment.
No, some moments are allowed to be a little awkward.
That is such a freeing truth. It really is. Because once people stop fearing awkwardness so intensely, they become braver.
And bravery matters far more than smoothness.
Much more.
A slightly awkward human is still far better than a perfect robot.
Always.
And actually, that brings us to another moment that makes a lot of English learners nervous.
Yes, the moment when someone uses a word you don't recognize.
Exactly. And this part matters so much because this is where many people panic.
They really do. One unfamiliar word appears.
And suddenly, it feels like half the conversation vanishes.
Yes, because now your brain is trying to do two things at once.
Stay in the conversation.
And figure out what that word meant.
And that's where you have a choice. Pretend or ask.
Ask. Always ask.
Because asking is not weakness, it's communication. And honestly, most people are genuinely happy to explain.
You can say, "Sorry, what does that mean?" Or, "Sorry, what do you mean by that word?"
And doing that actually makes you sound more articulate, not less.
Yes, articulate means able to express yourself clearly and well. An articulate speaker is not someone who knows every word,
No, it's someone who knows how to keep the conversation clear.
which is far better than standing there like a polite scarecrow.
Yes, no scarecrow energy.
So if you don't understand, ask, because that keeps the conversation alive and it shows that you truly want to understand the other person.
And now the part many people forget.
The ending.
Yes, because starting is one skill, but ending well is another.
Some people don't know how to leave, so they just stand there smiling longer and longer until the moment becomes uncomfortable.
That long goodbye face.
Exactly.
But polite exit phrases help enormously.
Things like, "Well, it was wonderful talking to you, but I really should be heading off." Or, "I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it was genuinely lovely chatting with you."
That feels warm and respectful.
Yes, and sometimes if the conversation went especially well, you can feel that you really hit it off.
Exactly. If two people hit it off, they connect very quickly and naturally.
And that's such a wonderful feeling.
It is, but even then, it's still good to end clearly and kindly.
Because a good ending leaves a good feeling.
And saves both people from getting stuck in the car park for 30 minutes.
Very important social skill.
Extremely important. So maybe that's the final message of today's episode.
Maybe small talk doesn't need to be perfect.
It just needs warmth,
A little courage
real curiosity.
and kind timing.
Yes, start simply, listen carefully, ask openly, stay human, and politely.
And little by little, those small talks stop feeling small.
They start feeling like the beginning of something real.
And that feels like the perfect place to pause.
Yes, because today we used some really useful words and phrases.
So let's slow things down now and move into our word tour.
Our first word is at ease.
It means feeling relaxed and comfortable.
She felt more at ease after the other person smiled and said hello. I feel at ease when I talk to friendly people.
I felt at ease during the conversation. He quickly made me feel at ease. Now say it slowly. At ease. I feel at ease. Our second phrase is put someone at ease. It means helping someone feel less nervous and more comfortable.
His friendly tone put me at ease right away. Her smile put everyone at ease.
I try to put others at ease when they feel shy. A kind greeting can put someone at ease. Say it slowly. Put someone at ease. He put me at ease. Our third word is approachable. It means friendly and easy to talk to.
She looked approachable, so I said hello. He seems very approachable and kind.
A smile makes you more approachable. Good body language makes you approachable. Now repeat slowly. Approachable. She is approachable. Our fourth expression is strike up a conversation. It means to start talking to someone in a natural way.
He struck up a conversation in the waiting room. I tried to strike up a conversation at the event.
She struck up a conversation with her neighbor. It is not hard to strike up a conversation. Say it slowly. Strike up a conversation. Start a conversation. Our fifth word is engaging. It means interesting and enjoyable to talk to.
She was engaging and fun to talk to. His story was very engaging.
An engaging person keeps conversations alive. She is engaging and full of energy. Now repeat slowly. Engaging. She is engaging. The sixth phrase is follow up on. It means to ask more questions about something.
I followed up and asked about his trip. She followed up on my question.
I like to follow up to show interest. He followed up with another question. Say it slowly. Follow up on. Ask more questions. Our seventh word is observant. It means good at noticing small details.
She was observant and noticed I was tired. He's observant and sees everything.
Being observant helps in conversations. I try to be observant with people. Repeat slowly. Observant. I am observant. Our eighth word is genuine. It means real, honest, and sincere.
Her smile felt genuine. He gave a genuine compliment.
People trust you when you are genuine. His interest was genuine and kind. Say it slowly. Genuine. Be genuine. Our ninth phrase is warm up to. It means to slowly feel more comfortable with someone.
She warmed up to me after a few minutes. I slowly warm up to new people.
He warmed up after some time. It takes time to warm up to strangers. Say it slowly. Warm up to. I warm up slowly. Our 10th word is articulate. It means to speak clearly and express ideas well.
She's articulate and confident. He explained his idea in an articulate way.
Being articulate helps in communication. He is very articulate when he speaks. Say it slowly. Articulate. Speak clearly. And our final expression is hit it off. It means to connect quickly with someone.
We hit it off and became friends. They hit it off instantly.
I hope we hit it off when we meet. They really hit it off at the party. Now repeat slowly. Hit it off. We connected quickly. And that brings us to the end of our word tour.
Take your time, practice slowly, and use these words in real conversations.
Because confidence comes one word at a time.
Wow, those were truly useful words and phrases.
Yes, and more than that, they show us something deeper about small talk.
It's not about being perfect,
It's about being warm,
being curious,
being present in the moment.
and being brave enough to begin, even if it feels a little uncomfortable.
Because sometimes one simple conversation
Can make someone feel seen.
can make a moment feel lighter.
And sometimes it becomes the beginning of a real connection.
So if small talk has always felt awkward for you,
That's completely okay.
you don't need to master it overnight.
Just start small.
Stay friendly
Keep listening.
and trust that you'll grow more natural with time.
And if this episode helped you,
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it with someone who might need it.
take care of your English.
And take care of your confidence.
This is Mary,
And this is Brian.
and you've been listening to the It's English podcast.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for learning with us today. Don't forget to keep practicing, and I will see you in our next lesson.